Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from second canto, chapter 9 and text number 36. So we will be continuing from where we have left yesterday. So as Jiva Goswami has quoted from the different scripture and explained about the glories and especially the devotional service that one can perform under the guidance of spiritual master, what it gives the effect. Even the worms, birds, beasts are assured of elevation to the highest perfectional stage of a life if they are completely surrendered to the transcendental living service to the Lord. What to speak of the human being? And Prabhupada says, therefore, there is no need to seek properly qualified candidates for discharging devotional service to the Lord. Let them be either well-behaved or ill-trained. Let them be either learned or fools. Let them be either grossly attached or in the renounced order of a life. Let them be liberated souls or desirous of salvation. Let them be inexpert in the discharge of devotional service or expert in the same. All of them can be elevated to the supreme position by discharging devotional service under the proper guidance. So whatever status of a life, of a body, of a consciousness you may have. But if you take a shelter of spiritual master and under his guidance, if you're under devotional service, then definitely it is said you are going to elevated at that position which is desired by everyone. Whether you are expert or inexpert, whether you are qualified or unqualified. But spiritual master can make your qualification and he takes you back to God. And this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 30 and 32. Api chetas suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadureva samantavya samagravasito hisa mam hipatavapavyapa shritya ye pisyo papayonayaha stri vaisho tatha shudras hipyanti param gatim. Even if a person is fully addicted to all sort of sinful acts, api chetas suduracharo, if he happens to be engaged in the loving transcendental service of the Lord under the proper guidance, he is to be considered the most perfect holy man without a doubt. And thus, any person, whatsoever and whosoever he or she may, even the fallen woman, the less intelligent laborer, the dull mercantile man, or even a man lower than all these, can attain the highest perfection of a life by going back home, back to Godhead, provided he and she take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in all earnestness. So again, there is a clause. How you have to take shelter of the Lord? All earnestness. What is meant by that?
Very serious. Putting all your energy.
Very?
Putting all your effort.
With all your efforts. 100%. Then it is possible. This sincere earnestness is the only qualification that can lead one to the highest perfectional stage of a life. And unless and until such a real earnestness is aroused, there is a difference between cleanliness and uncleanliness, learning or non-learning, in the material estimation. Fire is always fire, and thus if someone touches the fire knowingly or unknowingly, the fire will act in its own way without discrimination. The principle is Harir harati papani dushta chitter apismrataha. Wow. It's really wonderful. Harati papani dushta chitter api. Even if you have a wicked mind, a contaminated mind, but if you still take the holy name of the Lord, that will take away your sins. The all-powerful Lord can purify the devotee of all sinful reactions, just as the sun can sterilize all sort of infection by its powerful rays. Even thing is rotting, but sun dries it up and makes it purified. So same way, whatever situation of your consciousness or status of mind is there, that will get purified if you just take the shelter of holy name. Attraction for material enjoyment cannot act upon a pure devotee of the Lord. There are hundreds and thousands of aphorisms in the revealed scriptures. Last time we discussed about the story of Bhakti Sar. Could you remember? Anything you give to the devotees of their Lordship, they don't care about it. They are not at all interested. Deyamanam na grinanti mat sevaya vina. What to speak of the material opulences that you get in this material world? Even Lord himself ready to award them a liberation. 5 different kinds of a liberation. They said, we are not interested. What is their area of interest? Mat sevaya. The service to their Lordship. As explained in the Mukundamala Stotra. Diviva bhuviva mama pivasa swargeshova narakanta prakam. Oh Lord, put me anywhere in the hell or heaven. Huh? I don't bother about it. I don't care about it. Ramya Rama Tanulata Mridu Tanulata says whether I get the soft skin, beautiful woman, I never desire for that. And Mahaprabhu says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadish kamaye. Mama janmani janmani ishvare, bhavatad bhaktira haipukitve. What I desire for life after life? To render devotional service unto you. I don't want anything else. Even Lord himself wants to give, okay, take this liberation. They said, no, forget, we don't want. We are not at all interested. Why? Because Atma Rama Shamanayaho. Even the self-realized souls are so attracted by the transcendental living service of the Lord. Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayanaha. Simply by hearing and chanting, one becomes a great devotee of the Lord Vasudeva. Na jalati bhagavat padara vindal lavanami shraddham apisa vaishnava grihya. A person who does not move from the lotus feet of the Lord even for a moment or a second is to be considered the greatest Vaishnava, the greatest of all Vaishnavas. Bhagavata Parshadantam Prapte Mat Sevaya Pratitamte. The pure devotees are convinced of attaining the association of personality of a Godhead, and thus they are always engaged in the transcendental living service of the Lord. Therefore, in all continents, in all planets, in all universes, devotional service to the Lord or Bhakti Yoga is the current, and that is the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam and allied scriptures. Every means in every part of the creation of the Lord. The Lord can be served by all the senses or even simply by the mind. The South Indian Brahmana who served the Lord simply on the strength of his mind also factually realized the Lord. Success is guaranteed for a devotee who fully engages any one of his senses in the mode of devotional service. So, which is the South Indian Brahmana? Huh? In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is a wonderful example. Of Manasa Puja, the worship that one can perform in mind. There was one South Indian Brahmin, and he was not that opulent. Actually, he was not at all opulent. He was not rich. He was just a simple Brahmin. But he heard from the sadhus, and he read it in the scriptures, that if you perform a Manasa Puja to the Lord, the worship to the Lordship in the mind, that is considered to be the highest worship. Because Lord says, Manmana, engage your mind in me. And through mind, if you are rendering service to the Lord, that is the highest type of a puja. So what he is to do, he is to sit at one place. He is to meditate. He is to meditate on what? As if like he is offering all the upacharas to worship their Lordship. All 16 upacharas, then all the Rajo upacharas, everything. Like in his mind, he is to prepare a diamond and rubies and different precious gems studded golden throne. And then he is to invoke their Lordship on that throne. He is to call their Lordship. And he used to make him sit on that. After sitting, then he used to get a big golden pot to wash the feet of their Lordship. After nicely washing the feet of their Lordship, he used to apply some chandan and tulsi on that. Then he used to offer arghya. Arghya means the water which contains camphor, different herbs, especially agru and etc. And with that, he used to offer arghya to their Lordship. Then, after doing that, in his mind, he used to get all other ingredients which need to prepare the archmonium, cardamom, clove, then sweet or edible camphor, and then he used to add it into the water, and he used to offer that archman to their Lordship. After offering that, then he used to offer him special madhuparka. He used to get honey from the lotus flower. Then he used to get milk from Surabhi cow, ghee, and curd, and sugar from the ikshudanda. Ikshudanda means sugar cane. And then he used to prepare a madhuparka. And in this golden bowl with a golden spoon he used to offer their Lordship in his mind. So engrossed. Then he used to collect water from all the tirthas in the universe to bathe their Lordship. He used to get the best of the chandan to apply it on the Lord's body. Then he used to rub the nice chandan on the Lord's body, and then again he used to give him bath. He used to bathe him with the different waters from the different tirthas. After that, he used to give him a wonderful janev, then clothes, then different ornaments. Then he used to personally decorate their Lordship. After decorating, then he used to apply chandan on the Lord's body. Different sort of a fragrance that he used to put on the Lord's clothes. Then he used to offer agru, dhupa, then camphor, then deepa. And then he used to offer bhogas to their Lordship. And in his mind, one day he thought that I should offer their Lordship a nice kheer. And in his mind only he prepared nice kheer, put it in the golden pot, and kept in front of the Lord. And just to test it, whether it is too hot or not. If it is too hot, that will be, Lord will burn his mouth. So what he did, he put his middle finger in that kheer. And what happened? Surprisingly, his finger got burned. He came out of his meditation and he saw that his finger is burned. So what he was offering the mind, that was actually, that was in reality, because Lord is accepting all that. So if you have a sincere desire to serve the Lordship, and in your mind you offer that, Lord accept. That's the glory of devotional service. And God is so merciful. Even in the thoughts, if you desire to serve Him, He takes that service. It's okay, I'm happy. And if you do it physically, how much He will be happy then? The Lord can be served by any ingredient, even the most common commodity, a flower, a leaf, a fruit, or a little water, which are available in any part of the universe and without cost. And thus the Lord is served universally by the universal entities. Not continental or not the earthly. It said universal living entities. So anyone is qualified to render devotional service to the Lord, provided we should take shelter of bonafied spiritual master. And under his guidance, if we do that, then he can attain the perfectional stage of devotional service. See, again and again, Prabhupada is giving more emphasis on one particular point, and that is taking shelter of a bonafied spiritual master. He can be served simply by hearing. He can be served simply by chanting or reading about his activities. He can be served simply by adoring him and accepting him. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandam, Saksham, Dasyam, Atma, Nivedanam. Any of these 9 processes you can take, and all are simple. No investment is there. Like offering flowers to the Lord, or just holding hand in front of Him and offering a wonderful prayers. Does it require money? But sometimes people, when they wanted to make show of their opulence, then they need. But if they have a sincere desire to just serve their Lordship, then everything is provided by the nature to serve their Lordship. You have to just take it and use it for the Lord's service. That independence is with you. People generally ask, what kind of independence that we have in this world? That's the independence you have. If you desire you can serve the Lordship. Otherwise, take that all things for your enjoyment. So that freedom Lord has given to you. And devotee in the association of a spiritual master, they will be able to use that independence in a proper way so that they can attain the perfectional stage of a life. Then further, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that one can serve the Lord by offering the result of one's own karma. It does not matter what one does. Generally, men may say that whatever they are doing is inspired by God, but that is not at all. One should actually work on behalf of a God as a servant of God. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 27, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat yat tapasyasya kaunteya tat kurushvamadarpanam. Do whatever you like and whatever may be easier for you to do. Eat whatever you may eat, sacrifice whatever you can sacrifice, give whatever you may give in charity, and do whatever you may undertake in penance. But everything must be done for Him only. If you do business or if you accept some employment, do so on behalf of the Lord. Whatever you may eat, you may offer the same to the Lord, and be assured that He will return the food after eating it Himself. He is the complete whole, and therefore whatever He may eat as offered by the devotee is accepted because of the devotee's love. But again, it is returned as a prasad for the devotee so that he can be happy by eating. In other words, be a servant of God and live peacefully in the consciousness, ultimately returning home back to God. By reading these people things, I can do whatever I can. Whatever I can. But that whatever is Krishnanukulanam, it should be Anukulam for Lord Krishna. In Skanda Puran, it is said, Yasya smritya cha namoktya tapo yajñam priyadisho nimam sampurnatam yeti nunam sampurnatam yeti sadyo vande tamachum. I offer my obeisances unto Him, the infallible, because simply by either remembering Him or vibrating His holy name, one can attain the perfection of all penances, sacrifices, or creative activities. And this process can be universally followed, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, and text number 10. Vakamah sarvakamo va mokshakamo daradhi Tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purusha param. Though a person be full of desires or have no desire, he may follow this path of infallible bhakti for a complete perfection. One need not be anxious to proportionate each and every demigod and goddess, because the root of all of them is Supreme Personality of God. As by pouring water on the root of the tree, one serves and enlivens all the branches and leaves, so by rendering service unto the Supreme Lord, one automatically serves the goddess without extraneous effort. The Lord is all pervading, and therefore service unto Him is also all-pervading. This fact is corroborated in the Skanda Puran as follows. Chite deva devesha shankha chakra gadadhare arachitaha sarvadevasya yata sarvo gato hari. Yata sarva gato is the destination of everyone. When the Supreme Lord, the personality of a Godhead, who carries in his hands a conch shell, veil, club, and lotus flower, is worshipped, certainly all other demigods are worshipped automatically because Hari, the personality of a Godhead, is all pervading. Therefore, in all cases, namely nominative, objective, positive, dative, ablative, possessive, and or supportive. Are you able to get it? What is it? In all cases, namely nominative, objective, positive, dative, ablative, possessive, and supportive, everyone is benefited by such a transcendental loving service for the Lord. The man who worships the Lord himself who is worshipped, the cause for which the Lord is worshipped, the source of supply, the place where such a worship is done, etc. Everything is benefited by such an action. Again, here more emphasis is given on the personal direct devotional service to the Lord, which is far better than in any other processes or engagements are there to know about the Lord. The man who worships the Lord himself who is worshipped, the cause for which the Lord is worshipped, the source of supply, the place where such a worship is done, etc. Everything is benefited by such action. Even during the annihilation of the material world, the process of Bhakti Yoga can be applied. The Lord is worshipped in devastation because he protects the Vedas from being annihilated. He is worshipped every millennium or yuga at its say in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krite adhyayate Vishnum tretayam yajato akaihi Vapare parisharyayam kalau tadhare kirtanat. Krite adhyayate Vishnum. In the Krita Yuga, they meditate on the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Tretayam yajato makkaihi. In the Treta Yuga, they perform different fire sacrifices with a pure ingredients. Sahani stanamanjit chidram samoha sa cha vibhramam yan muhurtam kshanam vapi vasudevam na chintayet. Now it is said, what is the greatest loss? Yan muhurtam kshanam vapi vasudevam na chintayet. The greatest loss is that moment and the muhurta when one has not contemplated or remembered the Lord. If even for a moment remembrance of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is missed, that is the greatest loss. That is the greatest illusion. And that is the greatest anomaly. The Lord can be worshipped in all stages of life. From womb to tomb, we can worship the Lord. For instance, even in the wombs of their mothers, Maharaj Prahlad, Maharaj Parikshit worshipped the Lord. Even in very childhood, at the age of only 5 years, Dhruva Maharaj worshipped the Lord even in full youth. Maharaj Ambarish worshipped the Lord. And even at the last stage of his frustration and old age, Maharaj Dhritarashtra worshipped the Lord. Ajamil worshipped the Lord even at the point of death. And Chitraketu worshipped the Lord even in heaven and in hell. In the Narasimha Puran, it is said that as the hellish inhabitants began to chant the holy name of the Lord, they began to be lifted from the hell towards heaven. Durvasa Muni has also supported this view. Munchate yam namnya udite narako api. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the inhabitants of the hell became released from the hellish perception. So, the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, as given by Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit, is Etam nirvidyamananam ichchatam makuto bhayam yoginam drapa nirnitam harer namam kirtanam. O king, it is finally decided that everyone, namely those in the renounced order of a life, the mystics and the enjoyer of fruitive works, should chant the holy name of the Lord fearlessly to achieve the desired success in the pursuit. Are you here? No. I'm reading it again. O king, it is finally decided that everyone, namely those in the renounced order of a life, the mystics and the enjoyers of a fruitive work, should chant the holy name of the Lord fearlessly to achieve the desired success in their pursuit. Similarly, as indicated indirectly in the various places in the revealed scriptures. 1. Even though one is well versed in the Vedas and scripture, if one is not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, the personality of the Godhead, he is considered to be the lowest of mankind. Mandanam Lokaranjanam. He may be a very erudite scholar, but if he does not have a devotion for the Lordship, then everything is useless. In the Garuda Puran, Brahmanaradiya Puran, and Padma Puran, the same is repeated. What is the use of a Vedic knowledge and penance for one who is devoid of devotional service to the Lord? Shukadeva Goswami, in the 2nd canto, 4th chapter, 17th verse, he says, Tapasvino danapara yashasvino manasvino mantra vidaha sumangala kshemam vidanti vinayat arapanam tasmai subhadravajase namo namaha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all auspicious Lord Shri Krishna again and again, because the great learned sages, the great performance of charity, the great workers of distinction, the great philosophers and mystics, the great chanters of the Vedic hymns, and the great followers of the Vedic principle cannot achieve any fruitful result without dedication of such a great quality to the service of the Lord. Arava bhaktasya kuto mahatgunat manorate nasati bhavatovati. A person is non-devotee, he is not a devotee of Lord Hari, then he will run around as per the whims of mind. Even if a place is more glorious than heaven, if there is no glorification of the Lord of Vaikuntha or his pure devotee, it should at once be quickened. The pure devotee refuses to accept all the 5 different types of liberation in order to engage in the service of the Lord. And therefore, the final conclusion is that the glories of the Lord must be always and everywhere proclaimed. Hari sarvatra gite vede sanga krama upanishade gayanti yam samadaha. All the Vedas, Shrutis, Smritis, all the mantras, they are just glorifying the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Sri Krishna. One should hear about His glories, one should chant about His glories, and one should always remember His glories, because that is the highest perfectional stage of a life. As far as fruity worker is concerned, it is limited to an enjoyable body. As far as yoga is concerned, it is limited to the acquirement of a mystic power. As far as empiric philosophy is concerned, it is limited to the attainment of transcendental knowledge. And as far as transcendental knowledge is concerned, it is limited to attainment of a salvation. Even if they are adopted, there is a every chance to discrepancies in discharging the particular type of a function. But adoption of the transcendental devotional service of the Lord has no limit, nor is there fear of falling down. The process automatically reaches the final stage by the grace of the Lord. In the preliminary stage of a devotional service, there is an apparent requisite of knowledge, but in the higher stage, there is no necessity of such a knowledge. The best guaranteed path of a progress, therefore, engagement in the Bhakti Yoga, the pure devotional service. The cream of Srimad Bhagavatam in the foregoing 4 shlokas is sometimes squeezed out by the impersonalists for different interpretation in their favor. But it should be carefully noted that the 4 shlokas were first described by the personality of a Godhead. Therefore, the impersonalist may squeeze up any interpretation from them, but such an interpretation will never be accepted by those who are taught in the disciplic succession from Brahma, as will be cleared up in the following verses. Besides that, the Shruti confirms that the Supreme Truth, absolute personality of a Godhead, never reveals himself to anyone who is falsely proud of academic knowledge. The Shruti mantras clearly says, the Kathopanishad, Atma pravachanena labhyo na medhyana buddha shrutena yam yevasha dhrunate tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vibhrunate tanum nashva. The whole matter is explained by the Lord himself, and one who has no approach to Lord in his personal feature can rarely understand the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam without being taught by the Bhagavatas in the disciplic succession. So ultimately, whole thing boils down on the association of the Bhagavatas, the living Bhagavatam personality, who is imbibing the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam in his life for the sake of pleasing the Lordship. And that's the thing that one should adopt in his life. And that's the cream of Srimad Bhagavatam in 4 verses. As Bhagavad Gita is there in the nutshell in 4 verses in the chapter 10. Same way, the Srimad Bhagavatam in nutshell in 4 verses as explained here. 2nd canto, chapter 9, text number 33, 34, 35 and 36. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam in nutshell. And Prabhupada says the cream of Srimad Bhagavatam is rendering devotional service to their Lord. So let's try work out on this particular aspect, the process which is easily adoptable, acceptable, and performed sulabha, and which gives susukham. So let's try and follow the instruction given by the spiritual master. And path is assured. Once you are on this path, destination is assured. As Prabhupada has given an example. Fire. Knowingly or unknowingly, you touch it, you will get the consequences. Same way, knowingly or unknowingly, you take the devotional service, destination is fixed. You are going back home, back to path. Correct. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.